Statement, you can, just about the game tomorrow and how we're prepping, and then we can open up for questions after.
We are thrilled to finally be able to put some uniforms on and get out there together and get some game reps and game minutes that we so desperately need together. I think you can put them in certain situations in practice, and you guys can you can throw them out there and have them against the practice guys, but something about suiting up against another team is really, really valuable. So we're chomping at the bit to get ready to go out there and see where we're at. This is going to be a great test for us, as we saw based on last night's exhibition game that they played. This is going to be a really good test for us to see where we're at, to test different lineups, to just solidify some things that I think are potentially still up in the air right now for our team. But we're excited for our fans to get out to McKale, support us, get their first real look at our team, and we're just, like I said, really excited for the opportunity for 40 minutes to go out there and play together tomorrow.
Some of the coaches yesterday talked about how they like to see like their daily wins, and for you, what would be some of those daily wins with your team that you want to see every day?
Yeah, I think just like it's our chemistry and it's our cohesiveness on the court. Like that stuff cannot be rushed, or it can't be like fabricated. Like, the relationships that they're building, those take time. There's 14 players in our locker room that never met each other until June, let alone played basketball together, let alone had a feel for each other from a team chemistry standpoint. Oh, she likes this area of the floor. Oh, her and I do this, and that really well together. So that's all stuff that, like, practice reps, game reps, all of that stuff is gonna just speed up the process in terms of just us. Like, we need time together. And as much as I would have liked it to happen in the first 2 weeks, it just doesn't happen that way. So, like, we had a closed scrimmage against our practice guys a week ago, and now these first 2 exhibition games are going to be invaluable for a team like us who's completely brand new to be able to build confidence, build that team chemistry. But the wins that we're seeing daily in practice are those things. Oh, man, that action was really good with those guys. We can see they're finally getting it. They're clicking. The just confidence within each other. They've got to build our confidence as their coaches in terms of what they're able to do, but like, hey, I've got confidence in my teammate where I can hit her in this position and I know she's going to make that shot now, or feeding it to this post player because we know she can score with 2 feet in the paint. Like, those things are daily wins where we're just starting to see our team just come together, just gel, just mold together. And every team's different. I've had teams where it happens quicker. I've had teams where it develops later. But like, the daily wins for us right now are just seeing more and more of that happen every day in practice. And then you have an opportunity like tomorrow night, and you make strides tremendously in a bunch of different areas from that standpoint.
You took 3 guards with you, obviously, to Kansas City yesterday. Do you anticipate that those are going to be the leaders of your team, those 3 young women?
Yeah, those 3 are definitely going to be playing significant minutes for us, and they all lead in different ways. I think Samaya leads by example. She's one of those types of kids. I think Lonnie does it vocally and by example. I think Mickey's a little bit of a mixture of both as well. But from a standpoint of those 3 guards being relied on heavily in terms of minutes and statistically, not just scoring, but impacting the game statistically, all 3 of those guys are going to be relied on heavily. They also are 3 of the ones that I was just talking about that have gelled and really formed a chemistry together that's really, really pretty and fun to see. And it's just going to be cool to see it continue to develop. But yeah, those 3, there's a reason we chose them to come to Kansas City for sure.
So who are the bigs that you're going to be relying on this year?
That's a great question. Probably all of them at some point or another. We just talk as a staff. Like, I don't think any of our bigs have solidified that, okay, I'm the starting forward on Arizona's women's basketball team, and it's an opportunity for one of them to do that, and it's exciting from a standpoint that they can all have that opportunity to say, okay, this is my position, I'm taking it, and you're gonna have to take it from me if you want to take my minutes. But nobody's really kind of stepped out and said, okay, I'm going to be consistent every single day, consistent enough where I am the starting forward on our team. Like, I genuinely am not sure. I'll probably decide today after practice which one of our bigs is going to start tomorrow. And it keeps them hungry and it keeps them competitive with one another. But we also have the luxury of, like, are we going to play small with one big, or are we going to play big with 2 bigs, And I think we can play 2 different ways. So that's going to be a lot of the time based on our opponent as well. But pretty wide open. There's 4 or 5 of them that, like, I think we're just going to see who produces when the lights come on. because in practice, so-and-so has a great day, and then next day she's all right. And then 2 great days. It's just consistency with them that we're challenging them on.
You said at the event yesterday that you feel like your team is a little undersized compared to maybe some of the other players who are walking around at Big 12. How do you compensate for that? And is it sort of symbolic in a little bit that this team kind of has that underdog mentality?
Yeah. I did say that in the morning, and then I saw some smaller teams in the afternoon, so I felt a little bit better. But I think for us, I think that will be a theme. I think we will be. I think we'll be smaller at the guard position. But again, smaller at the guard position means we can probably defend a little bit better, means we could play a little bit higher of a pace. So I think you have pros and cons to that. But again, the self-awareness of like, hey, on paper, we know who we are, we know what we are, we know what deficiencies we may have, so we need to make up for it in these certain categories. And that's been something that we've really talked about since day one, and it's going to come out tomorrow. They're going to see it firsthand. It's one thing for your coach to say, hey, we're not good here, we can't make up for it in these other areas, and just hear your coach say that. When we lace them up tomorrow and it really comes to fruition and they see the importance of these other categories we're talking about, that's more valuable than me just telling them on a daily basis. You know what I mean?
Your bigs, what do each of them bring to the table that, is unique?
Yeah, I think Achol, obviously from a size standpoint at 6'7", she brings just tremendous presence, size, power, ability to score with 2 feet in the paint. You can feed her a little bit differently than you have to feed some of the other guys in the post. And she's healthy now. We've got Coach AC with us here from Texas Tech the last couple years with Achol, and it's just a completely different player, especially from her perspective, which is nice to hear. So Achol, just from a presence and size standpoint, Addie, who just got here about a month ago, from an athleticism, body, ability to run the floor, defend multiple positions. She's absolutely incredible. What we're working on with her right now is IQ and just getting up to speed with the rest of the crew, because she missed 2 months of summer, right? You've got Freddie, who I think is probably one of our most skilled bigs and one of our most just talented naturally and raw. But again, it's consistency with her. She doesn't practice hard every day, right? She's in and out. Like it's consistency and reliability with Freddie. And I just had that conversation with her a couple days ago. You've got Nora. I think Nora's great. She hasn't played at this level before. She hasn't played on a winning program or a winning team before. We're teaching her how to win, right? Denia, true freshman, deer in the headlights right now, but very talented, very good. So all of these players, I just think, again, we're going to have to find 2 or 3 of them that we can say, okay, these are our 2 or 3. But at this point, we don't know.
What are the elements of teaching a team to win before you get to actual games?
I think you have two ends of the spectrum. I think it's teaching them how to win from a basketball standpoint, spacing, screening, pace, attention to detail, what we're running, why we're running it. I believe that all of their IQs have just grown tremendously since they've gotten here. But then I think you have teaching them how to win from a culture standpoint, which has been something that since day one we have. These are championship habits. This is the culture that we're building here. You're in the gym without having to be asked, right? You're not walking over to the water cooler at water breaks. You're jogging. Every time we're in a huddle, we're touching. Like all of the things that winning programs do, that it's no knock on our players. They just haven't come from those programs or from a coaching staff that builds the championship habits like we do. And it's been a high level of accountability to just like action and culture and who we are just in the little categories outside of like the stuff we're running in the X's and the O's. I'm going to tell them how to win basketball wise. That's my job. But right now it's been the culture piece, because again, a lot of our players, if you just look across the board, have come from places that maybe haven't won, or they were lower levels, or the expectations were very different from their coaching staffs. And now they're here at Arizona, and it's been a big kind of culture shock to all of them to buy into this. But when they do see it work, and when they do see the fruits of their labor and the culture start to change, and the things start to happen that will once they completely surrender to this process, then it becomes player-led next year and the year after and the year after and the year after. So this is a hard year, but we're grinding. We're getting after it.
A league of coaches who slots you at 14. Do you talk about that? How much do you use that as motivation for this group?
Yeah, we talked about it the day it came out because obviously it's all over social media. Had it just been like a secret poll and I got an email about it, I wouldn't even have touched on it. But since it's on social media and they all see it, we talked about it, addressed it for a few minutes in the locker room. They're pissed off about it. I'm pissed off about it. Like, you just don't like to hear that. I've never had a double-digit number next to my name in anything, and so that's just not how I'm wired or what I feel comfortable with, and they don't either, which is a good thing, right? We also understand that it means absolutely nothing. We need to go out tomorrow night at 6 o'clock and show people that we're not the 14th ranked team in the Big 12, right? Or show people that we are, right? So it's you got to go tomorrow night at 6 o'clock and lace them up, and ultimately it's not what people think about you, it's what you show them you are, and we have an opportunity tomorrow night to do that.
We were talking to Julie Haregrove at the local media day a couple weeks ago. She was telling the story of how you guys first connected, and she was going out of town to her daughter's volleyball tournament, and you kind of had said, hey, we'll talk Monday, and then you ended up pushing the conversation up to Sunday. Can you just give your version of how that all went down and kind of why you were interested in bringing her aboard as coach?
Yeah, that's a blur. Feels like it was yesterday, and it feels like it was 10 years ago. No, I knew of Coach Julie, obviously, from her time with the Mercury and coming out here and just doing my research in terms of like what I wanted to do and how I wanted to build this staff. And the funny thing is, once I got here, Tommy Lloyd actually followed up with a text. It was like a few days after I had gotten here. He's like, hey, Becky, take this for whatever. Tell me to go kick rocks. He's like, you might want to call this person. And he gave me Julie's contact. And I had already kind of like known about her and done my research on her. But that text probably just gave me a little reminder that you need to call her. And so I did. And at that time, we probably had maybe one or two players at that point. Like, we were just still grinding, like get players, build your staff on the side kind of deal. But from the first conversation, just very apparent her love for this university. Her, obviously, bloodline speaks for itself. Her pride in having played in this program and just been around this place since she was a baby, right? And then just her basketball IQ, her knowledge, her passion for the game, all of that stuff. Just she's been doing it, half my life, right? So it's like, I want to always surround myself with people that are smarter and better at things than I am. And Julie has stepped right into that role of like, I need a question answered, I go to her. I need something solidified in my mind, ask her opinion on it, right? And she's so savvy, she's so confident. She's done it in such a classy, like tasteful way where she didn't come in on day one and act like she's, arrived here, right? She's come in and she's really felt me and my style and what I need from her. And she's really like stepped into that and just embraced it. And it's been really awesome. What I knew the adjustment for her was going to be was recruiting and, NCAA rules and calendar and like all of these things that in the pros, you ain't got to worry about that. You go out, work Diana Taurasi out and the rest takes care of itself, right? So that's all the stuff that we've been really coaching her up on, not the basketball IQ or knowledge of the game or ability to identify talent. She's had all that, but I could not be happier that she's here and super thankful and glad that I got the opportunity to snag her.
She coached under a lot of coaches just with the Mercury and was able to adapt. How do you think that has helped her, adapt quickly here?
Yeah, I think she's just a very self-aware person. Like, it's just, she's going to come and do what you ask her to do and be what you need her to be. Like, and that's why I think she's come and taken it slow and just really figured me out and what I need and who I need her to be. And it's been like really, really cool without me having to sit down and say, Julie, I need you to be this for me. I need you. She just feels it. She just sees it. She just steps in when necessary, like all of those things. But I definitely think the college game is a little bit, in the pros, it's probably a little less attention to detail, a little less player development, a little bit less, all the things that we have to be patient with at this level with our players. So I'm probably a little spicier than anybody she's worked with. So she's probably getting a little bit more used to me as well, just my personality. But it's been seamless in my mind.
Is anyone unavailable to play tomorrow because of injury?
Just Montea. Yep. So just Montea. Everybody else is good to go. And we're going to use everybody, and we got a really good team coming in here. If we couldn't get a wake up call based off looking at this box score from last night, then they have one now. So, but we need it regardless. I mean, I hope there's punches thrown back and forth. I hope there's adversity. I hope there's success. I hope there's all the things that you want in an exhibition game to really feel like you got out of it what you wanted, and to get a measuring stick on where you're at. But ultimately, to win for sure.
In terms of her recovery?
She's right on track, if not a little bit ahead of schedule. Again, that could change next week where she's put back 2 months, or that could change next week where she's pushed ahead 2 months. Like it's just so fluid and ever changing. But you know, shout out to Bart, our athletic trainer, our docs. I mean, they've been absolutely tremendous. Just you know, working with her and being patient with her and guiding her every step of the way. But she's hopping in drills in practice, like she's out there. And I would expect, you know, to be making a decision on her in you know, probably the middle of non-conference play, just to see where we're at, what she wants to do with the year, how she wants to kind of, you know, use her eligibility from a standpoint of like, okay, if we play you in the middle of non-conference, you're using a year. If we wait till Big 12, do you still want to play? We would be using a year. Obviously having an opinion on that as the head coach, and then her having an opinion on it as well, with it being her eligibility. So, but I know she wants to play, and I know she wants to play as soon as possible.
Embry Riddle's coming here to play the men's team on Monday. Is anyone at the school still there from when you were there?
Yeah, actually, the men's coach that was there when I was there, he's now like the associate athletic director. He's going to come to practice on Monday and watch us practice here. And then we're going to go do dinner. And so it's going to be fun to see the Embry Riddle jerseys out there in McKale, have two worlds collide. But yeah, it'll be nice to see some familiar faces for sure.
Similarities and differences between this rebuild that you're undertaking here and other ones that you've undertaken along your coaching path?
Very similar in all the ways. You leave practice, you're like, holy cow, I feel like $1 million. And then the next day you're like, why did I sign up to do this again? And then the next day you're like, oh my gosh, we're going to win a Big 12 championship. It's so up and down. It's such a roller coaster. It's so emotional. It's so, but this is like what I'll look back next year. I'll look back the year after and be like that year was so hard. It was such a test, but like that's why we're here now, is because we went through that year and we built and we grinded and we just put one foot in front of the other. And that's what we're going through right now. And that's what year one is. It's never been any different anywhere else that I've been. And there's been such bright spots. There's been challenging days, but that's what you sign up for when you do this. I've done it enough times to know.
Embry Riddle is obviously a whole new team because you started the program from scratch. Any of the other stops, did you have this much turnover?
Yeah, at Buffalo, I had one player. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she was a healthy player, though. Nothing against Montea. I had one that was going to be able to play. So, yeah, very, very similar situation. That's actually something that Desiree and I talked about in this hiring process. Was like, I just did this 3 years ago. You know, now again, rev share, NIL, P4, all that stuff's a little bit different. But I've been in this situation for sure.
One player over from Buffalo and Lonnie in the cornfield. What is the value of having someone who knows your style and system?
Yeah, I thought I knew the value when I brought her, like was really excited about it. But now even just looking back on the last 4 or 5 months, it's been even just astronomically more than I could have ever even thought. Like, I'm so thankful she's here. I'm so happy that she's here. She's obviously tremendously talented, which you guys are going to see tomorrow. But from a culture standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, having somebody in the locker room that won 30 games with you last year and won a championship and has seen the process work, to be able to echo that inside the locker room, which she does every single day, has been critical. Not only that, but echo it on the baseline or be my assistant. She's got more time with me than my assistants have, right? So like she's really, really, really been critical in our development as a team, our belief in what we're doing, and just being that second kind of voice that's like, look, I've seen it work. Look, do it this way because it works. You know, that's person who can solidify to her teammates that like, yes, hey, that was great. That's how she wants it when I didn't see it. You know, those types of things.
How would you best describe her style on the floor?
Oh, just she's gonna do all the little things. I think she's gonna affect she's going to affect both sides of the floor in every possible way that you can. Like, she's going to score, she's going to facilitate, she's going to be our best on-ball defender, she's going to slow the other team's pace, she's going to push the pace for us, she's going to get deflections, she's going to be the one taking the charge, she's going to be first to the floor. I mean, she's everywhere. Like, you know, we scrimmaged our practice guys. I played her 37 minutes in a scrimmage against our practice guys. She has to be on the floor, and you'll see why. Like, she's just so impactful, so her presence, she sets the tone, the pace we play with when she's on the floor. And she's not perfect. She's going to miss shots. She's going to turn it over. She's going to do all those things. But those things, the positive things that she does and how impactful she is on both ends, far outweigh any negatives that I've ever had coaching her.
She always seems so serious. Does she cut up? Does she ever listen up?
She does. You saw her on the plane or in yesterday and some of the stuff at media day. She does, but she's like, that's why her and I we're built very similarly. She's at the highest level of competitor. Like when you see that look in her eyes, you'll see it. You'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, she's not playing any games, but she's a great person. Laughs, has fun, but like when it's time, it is time.
Other players have talked about discipline and attention to detail being important parts of your program. Can you give an example or two of what that would look like?
Yeah. Sprinting to your screens and not jogging to your screens. Actually hitting somebody when you screen. Boxing out, not just like grazing them, driving them back. Like the little stuff. And like I could tell someone to box out, ask them to box out, and see them not really drive back and like just let it go as a coach because it's easier for me to stand over there and not say anything. Like we're saying something, we're addressing it. It's such little things like that. Like we spent 20 minutes in practice yesterday sprinting to down screens because we're jogging to down screens right now. We spent 20 minutes hitting a pad. That's the person you're screening, and I better hear the smack of the pad. Like little stuff like that it's critical because we have to be good screeners. We're not good enough shot makers and shot creators this year to not be great screeners. Like it's just who we are and what we are. And I tell them all the time, you're going to find out the easy way, you're going to find out the hard way. Screen somebody. We have to screen somebody, right? When we're 6'2" on the wing and 5 stars on the wing, you can get away with it. We still won't, but we're not that this year. You need to go screen somebody. Our spacing needs to be great. Our pace, repeating play calls, like all the little stuff that this year's team has to be elite at is a non-negotiable.
Was talking about the tape that you put down on the floor, making sure your feet are exactly where they're supposed to be.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like we're in backside help. We call it fanning out on the backside, like kind of zoning out, splitting 2 on the backside. Like they have to go touch the tape because that's where you're supposed to be. So you're going to touch it every single time. Well, guess what? Now that we've done that for 4 or 5 months, tomorrow when there's no tape on the court, you're still going to go where you're supposed to, right? It's like just building habits and little things that are so important because we need you to get all the way to the tape because that saves you, 3 or 4 feet on a closeout where we need that because we're not long enough, right? And you don't get to all the way to the tape. Now your closeout is 3 or 4 feet longer. Now we're not winning that closeout anymore, right? It's like all these little things. There's a rhyme and a reason to why we do every single thing that we do, and they're starting to see it and believe, and they really will tomorrow night for sure. Thank you, guys.